This FedEx driver is being arrested for the abduction of a 7-year-old child, but the officers taking him into custody have no idea just how sinister this case is about to get, because this man is far more than a kidnapper, and soon they will find themselves in one of the most disturbing interrogations North Texas has ever seen.
I think you stripped her naked, the door closed out the window on the highway. Is that what you're saying?
Sweet. I shouldn't have been I think it was followed, but I didn't work. She started crying. I staged so much. I'm going to die. Girl's gonna hurt me.
Who?
Girl's gonna hurt me.
So,
I think I know your residence and know it.
what am I going to ask?
You're gonna ask the place. I'll hit you if you don't die.
What you guys talking, please?
The man in handcuffs is 31-year-old Tanner Lynn Horner, and the last time anyone saw a 7-year-old Athena Strand alive, he had just dropped off a Christmas present at her door.
My permission, that's all the thing, sure, to take it in. Take it in. Yeah, we got it.
The officers only suspect him being connected. What they don't know yet, this is about to unravel into something far worse. What led to his arrest was a single phone call made on the evening of November 30th, 2022, by Athena's father, Jacob Strand, and stepmother Ashley, reporting her missing. Athena had been living with them since May 2022, after what began as a summer visit was extended. That evening, she was in her bedroom, a converted storage shed, doing laundry while Ashley cooked dinner inside the main house. But by the time dinner was ready, Athena never came in. At first, it didn't seem alarming, but soon panic started setting in, and by 6:41 p.m., a 911 call was made. For 2 days, hundreds searched for her, until investigators catch a crucial detail. A FedEx package had been delivered to the Strand property at the exact time Athena vanished, and it hadn't even been marked as delivered. Officers don't know it yet, but their suspicion that something is very wrong is closer to the truth than they realize. They trace the vehicle to Tanner Horner and quickly arrest him. When they search the van's camera, they recover haunting footage, capturing not only the terror Athena endured, but each step Tanner took to hide his dark secret. The van had multiple cameras. He knew exactly where they were. In the days leading up to November 30th, he had been covering and uncovering the dash camera with a sticky note on his shifts, testing it. On the day he took Athena, he did it again. In a completely remorseless move, the very next day after she went missing, he is back on the same route, pretending as if nothing had happened. Nobody standing on that road knew he was the very reason for her disappearance, but investigators now have the video evidence, the FedEx records, and Tanner himself. But as they go through the footage from his van on the night of her disappearance, his actions reveal exactly the kind of man they are dealing with. He stops at an isolated spot, after which there is no sign of Athena. He is also seen stuffing her clothing into his backpack and cleaning the interior of the van. The detectives fear the worst, but still hold out hope for finding Athena, and only Tanner can help them with that. What officers are about to hear inside that interrogation room is a man whose every word makes the situation more disturbing than the last.
Let's start with the bar you talked about, right? On when you got the little girl. You went to that or the little package. She made me get myself situated where I'm going to have an easy way to get out of the property. I kind of fast track here. Okay. She seemed like she wasn't too incredibly hurt, but it was. I didn't know what to do. I made it nervous. It was my job. It was my source of income. Like everything was on line. I didn't know what to do with it. So what do you do with her and shut it? I listened to this little voice in my head and she gave me just grab her and go and I did. Okay.
He claims a little voice told him to do it, while ignoring the real voice inside the van, a terrified child crying, screaming, and begging to go back home. Detectives have already pieced much of it together, but they still need him to confess to the horrific crime.
So you said you heard two things. Volunteer? I think she had secrets. Okay. So you used to volunteer, and what she said, where I kidnapper. And what did you tell her? I told her no. She went up to a moment ago and I didn't want to tell her, so I just would just talk to her about random things. I didn't. Okay. You need one. She was a sweet kid.
His story doesn't match what the camera has already caught, because in the footage, Athena is kneeling beside the driver's seat and asking questions. At one point, she even asks. But his response to that is chilling.
It doesn't matter. You're with me now.
Detectives have seen every second of this footage. They know he's lying. But they let him talk because a man who thinks he's winning will eventually say more than he means to.
I was driving around for this, trying to figure out what I was going to do about the situation. And what should we do? Asking questions. We're just talking at this point. And she said, why was she standing up? She in the passenger seat, where she is? She's standing out. She's in the back. Okay. And then where's the girl? We went down this private road and I listened to that little voice again. It's okay. It's alright. Alright. And you guys, it's not alright. Well, no, it's alright. It's okay to tell me. And let's talk about how she ended up after the murder. Where did he take her? That was private road. Trying to figure out what I was going to do from that point. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I just started heading back to the station. And while I was driving back to the station, I saw like a big room. That's the one in there. Okay. Obviously, we're, if you talk to her there, we're going to find her somewhere she'd be fully clothed. And you mentioned she didn't have any shoes on. No, she didn't have shoes. Sorry. Wearing socks, regularly. I mean, I think like shorts or jeans or something, but there was a lot going on in my head at the time, but I didn't. Is there any voices telling you anything at that time? After you, just to get her out of the truck or anything like that, or was that just kind of a decision you made? I just tossed her in, like I could just keep running around with the head in the back like that, and I just tossed her in the bush or whatever you want to call it.
Tanner gets quiet, but officers cannot risk him lawyering up. So they reassure him, almost as if helping him through it. What comes next isn't just a timeline, but a glimpse into what Athena faced at his hands. And it is nothing short of horrifying.
So when I came in here, I went like this, and I backed up and I hit the girl. She was when the girl was running. So bad about her, tried calming her down. This voice in my head told me to her get in trouble.
I had to do something with her. So I told her to get me the truck. And so the whole time I was trying to figure out what that was doing. I didn't know what my next step was, but I was just going to go out somewhere I don't know.
You don't have to say it very descriptively. You say what you did to her, like I told her.
That's when we went down the front door. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do.
Okay. Was she backing away from you when you were checking her?
Sort of, I tried to.
Oh, you tried to break her neck?
I tried to break her neck, my fingers clenching my wrist and possible, but it didn't work. She started crying.
According to Tanner, he panicked and things spiraled from there. But when officers press him on what happened after, his answer goes somewhere nobody in that room expected. He gives them a name, Zero. And this is not another suspect, but a different personality of his that he says took over and did the unthinkable.
What was her name? Do you remember?
That way you said, start from pretty much timing anybody.
So that was the main concern. That's the whole reason why.
Everything was at risk.
So
I think I know you're about to ask me. No, I didn't.
What about MS?
You're going to ask if I.
Sir, so everything's going to tell me that you did.
With my medication now, I don't even really have much of a now.
Okay.
Like, what is not such a medication? Zero most of the time.
Okay. So this is whenever the doctors or whatever is in her body, they're going to tell you that she wasn't sick.
Well, I do think she proved herself also, but I'm not. But you get what I'm saying.
Okay, totally. And here's the deal, Tanner. Remember, we're going to be completely honest to each other.
It almost seems like it was a dream. For the most part, it just kind of seems like I wasn't. You're like, you know what I mean? Seems like I wasn't behind the wheel. Stuff like that's happened my entire life. Where like I'll have these like out-of-body information. Most of the time, I'm like getting out-of-body what's going on or something like that. But sometimes I'll kind of like fake out and not know what's going on. Other times I'll just kind of be in the back seat almost.
While officers step out briefly to review the evidence, Tanner is left alone in that room. That's when he gets up and writes, "He's going to hurt me," on the board. When officers come in, they're confused because from this point forward, they are no longer sure who they're talking to. The man who could barely make eye contact minutes ago is now sitting forward, unbothered, like something with nothing left to hide and no guilt about any of it.
You met with FBI the day to tell them you're up here. And you didn't tell them. Right? They were looking for her then and you're up there and you didn't tell.
I wasn't.
So, that wasn't you. What do you mean?
That wasn't me.
What do you mean that wasn't you? They didn't talk to you?
They talked to me, but they didn't talk to me.
Okay. And tell her that's all.
What you wrote on that world of work? And you said that you wrote that. Why did you write that?
I speak so much. I'm going to die.
Why you say that?
Zero's gonna hurt me.
Who? Who's gonna hurt you?
Zero's gonna hurt me.
Zero? Like Z-E-R-O? We can keep you safe, okay? And you can trust me to continue to trust me?
Trust you.
I want you to trust me. Okay, listen to me. I want you and Zero to trust me.
Please stop. Me from hurting me.
Oh, there's several ways to do that. What kind of will do?
He's telling me this was all a trap.
There's no trap. no traps. We're gonna get you some cigarettes, and we're gonna find her.
The officers realize the only way to get the truth out of him is to play his own game. They let him take a break for a cigarette, and soon enough, Zero has more to offer than they expected, digging his own grave, revealing details that are almost too hard to digest.
Were you talking about he was Hannah talking earlier about trying to break her neck? Y'all really trying to break her neck? It didn't work. Was it you trying to break her neck? Was it Tanner? You? You struck her from behind like you said earlier? Did she defecate on herself? Did she struggle? She trying to claw you or anything like that? How's she trying to claw you? Trying to kick you? She actually did a kick on you? She's screaming on you? You thought it was funny? You take all her clothes off of her? Shirt, pants, panties, everything? The panties off?
So did Tanner taking you the clothes home, you think? You don't think so? Think Tanner gets much? You think Tanner took anything home?
A 7-year-old girl's clothes scattered across a Texas highway, and the man who put them there claims it was funny. Officers, more than disgusted at this point, press him on the motive, and his answer is one of the most chilling things they have heard till now.
You said it was funny throwing her clothes out on the highway. Which highway was thrown out on? On 14, so before you even got out of West County? Why'd you take the clothes off here? A form of humiliation. She was in my house. We got punched her. Did she tell you she was going to tell? She did? When did she tell you she was going to tell? She was at the house or after y'all left? The house? Did she tell you she don't want to go with you? What'd you tell her?
Going on a ride.
She was trying to fight you when you told her going on the ride?
No. She did keep asking me.
What'd you tell her?
I don't know. We're just going on a ride.
So, her clothes were taken off and you're driving down the road and she's not wearing clothing, correct? Am I correct? Okay. And then what? What do you think was next? And where was that? Yeah.
Intriguing, you wrote. Does that make sense?
The information Tanner gives them is disturbing enough, but it doesn't even come close to what the officers who reviewed the van's audio have heard. The recording begins with Tanner telling Athena to remove her clothes. She replies,
"You can't do that to me. Mommy says you can't touch me that way."
She tells him she'll tell her father. But he keeps pushing.
You're really pretty. You know that? It's fine. It's fine. No one's going to see.
She refuses and starts crying. That's when the threats begin.
Oh, God.
What follows is yelling and screaming in pain. At one point, officers hear what sounds like stomping, and then silence. The camera had already been covered with a sticky note. Still, the haunting audio tells them the full story. Back in the interrogation room, Tanner is still playing his role, convinced he's going to walk away clean.
Taylor, and yes, welcome back. Okay.
I'm a little flabbergasted, I guess.
Why does that mean? About that?
Because I was in the back seat watching everything happen, and I'm kind of freaking out.
All right. Was there anything you really thought that you didn't remember? Or we could leave it out?
I mean, I was thinking, yeah, the roads are letting me, I fall. Okay.
So that's all I know.
It's so weird. This is a weird out of respect because you actually, you guys know, which I think is, okay. Yeah.
The interrogation ends, and he is taken back to his cell. Officers still don't have a location for Athena. Then comes something nobody in that building saw coming. Tanner himself asks for another interview. What he discusses, however, reveals a calculated, self-serving mindset and an important detail that will shift the direction of the entire case.
So, I imagine you have, mindset, you want to be correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many more things in this whole that I want.
What's that?
You can't do that, I understand.
You don't want what?
I want a month.
A month what?
Even if you want to put an ankle monitor on the GPS monitor to check off with people. Like, if you give me a month with my family so I can have Christmas with my son, I'll tell you everything.
I'll be completely honest with you, Tanner.
That's beyond your power.
Yeah, no, it's something that I can't even see. These are things that's possible.
One last Christmas. I have videos of Christmas morning and waking up, I'm gonna go sleep, I go under the trees in his presence. We would take the entire thing and have him being able to look back from that. This isn't even really about me at this point. It's not that whole way. I want this because I want to be able to, for him to have something to look back on.
The same man who made sure a little girl would never see another holiday is sitting in a jail cell negotiating for one last memory with his own child. Soon, however, he agrees to lead officers to her. What officers are about to find at the end of that drive is one of the most devastating sights they will ever see involving a child. They reach Bobo's Crossing, a creek 9 miles from the Strand property. Athena is in the water, cold to the touch, unclothed, rigid. Her clothes have been thrown from the moving vehicle on the highway and are found separately. Every officer on that scene goes quiet. A 7-year-old girl, alone in the cold, stripped of everything, even her dignity. The FBI agent who pulled her from the water says her skin, under the lights, appeared to be glistening. He called it kind of angel-like. The state she is found in tells a story no one should ever have to read. But Athena deserves justice, and that means they have to keep going. Her body is sent for an autopsy on December 3rd, 2022. The findings are brutal. Blunt force injuries, smothering, and strangulation. Injuries across her face, head, neck, chest, and back, all occurring before death. The SA kit returns male DNA, and they find blood and semen on Tanner's FedEx shirt, hoodie, jeans, and underwear. A long strand of Athena's hair is also recovered from inside his underwear. Though there is no physical evidence of sexual trauma, the medical examiner is clear. Absence of injury does not rule out assault. Tanner still denies it. No remorse or acknowledgement of what that little girl went through. Just silence and deflection. But the evidence just keeps piling up. Months later, Tanner attempts to take his own life in his jail cell. Officers find 5 handwritten letters laid out on the bench. One is to Athena's family, an apology blaming his autism, and a second letter marked "Detectives Only." In it, he claims an older man with a rifle was waiting at the property and forced him at gunpoint to take Athena and bring her to a specific location where the man killed her. One letter confesses. One tries to take it all back, but the truth is already laid bare. However, the most telling thing Tanner Horner did after killing Athena was to pick up his phone. On December 1st and 2nd, his search history shows him repeatedly looking up Paradise Missing Girl, opening photos of Athena, missing posters, and updates from the active search effort. He also searched, do FedEx truck cameras constantly record? And alongside those searches was another one. My fiancé's family makes me out to be a demon. The defense argues he may have simply seen what everyone else was seeing, but the physical evidence leaves no room for doubt. On April 7th, 2026, moments before trial, with the jury already seated, Tanner Horner stands up and pleads guilty to capital murder and aggravated kidnapping on both counts. The case moves immediately into the punishment phase, where the jury is tasked with one decision: death or life without parole. At trial, prosecutors didn't let the panic story stand. They told the jury that Horner had made sure he was assigned to the same FedEx truck every single day. He even covered the camera with a sticky note at 4:09 p.m., over an hour before he even pulled into the driveway, after which it was uncovered for a while, then covered again. The DA put it plainly. This wasn't a man who lost control in the moment, but one who had been planning it for a long time. The defense came back with everything they had: autism, PTSD, bipolar disorder, a mother who drank and smoked during her pregnancy, a father who spent nearly 90% of his life in prison. They asked the jury to see a broken man before they saw a dangerous one. But the prosecution introduced something the defense couldn't explain away: 3 counts of assaulting a minor from 2013, 9 years before Athena, 2 underage girls, and 3 separate incidents. Whatever was broken in Tanner Horner, it had been there for a long time. It took the jury less than 3 hours to decide. But before Judge George Gallagher made it official, Athena's family gets to speak. Her uncle stands before the man who took her and delivers his statement.
Essentially, after the devastation that Tanner Horner caused us and our family, what he took from this world was not just a child. He took a fight, a future, and a piece of every single person he loved. He took a granddaughter, a daughter, a niece, a cousin, and a friend. I think it was more than his life. It was laughter, curiosity, kindness, and she had dreams that she will never get to chase, birthdays that she will never celebrate, and a life she'll never get to live because of his actions. Tanner Horner, I want you to hear this directly. You did not just take a life, you destroyed a family. You took a little girl who trusted the world and repaid that innocence with violence. You chose to cause pain that will last generations. You say you found God, but what you did to Athena stands in direct opposition to everything that you now claim to believe. In Matthew 18:6, it says, if anyone causes one of these little ones to stumble, it would be better for them to have a millstone hung around their neck than to be drowned. That is how seriously harm against a child is judged, and you will be judged. You will face the wrath of God. I want you to know that you are nothing.
And then the verdict is read, sealing Tanner Horner's fate.
Tanner Lynn Horner's been adjudged to be guilty of the offense of capital murder as found by the jury. Jury having answered the special issues making it mandatory that your punishment be death, it is therefore the order of this court that your punishment be death.
On May 5th, 2026, Tanner Horner is sentenced to death by lethal injection. Athena's family finally get their justice. But no verdict or punishment will ever be enough for the life of the 7-year-old girl.